Podcasting from beautiful Leesburg, Virginia. Welcome to the Music Educator podcast, bringing you tips, tricks, and practical advice that you can use tomorrow. Here's your host and fellow music educator, Bill Stevens.
And welcome to the Music Educator podcast. This is Bill Stevens, your host. I'm so excited that you're here to join me today. This is season 2, episode 2. And today we are going to reflect on a blog post entitled, Yikes, I need a music sub tomorrow. So let's get started. So we have all run into the situation in which unexpected events happen. It could be anywhere from a death in the family, child gets sick, we get sick, or maybe we're going to a conference, something simple. If it wasn't for this, we would be in our classrooms, we would be rehearsing, we'd be on stage performing, or just creating long-lasting relationships with our students. And because of these unforeseen circumstances, one way or another, we're going to have a sub. And there are times like these where sometimes our sub plans just don't match up because we can't get a music sub. And that's very unfortunate. Despite these reasons, sometimes we have to scramble to find a music sub. Problematic realism. In general, if I have an event that I know I'm going to be absent from, well in advance, I plan to acquire a music sub. I make sure I have planned activities based on what I know this sub can do. And unfortunately, if I don't intend to be gone the next day, I don't typically have the best sub plans ever. And sometimes I've even had to resort to showing the dreaded videos. And I know that is not something I personally want to put out there. And I know my administrators would like the kids to be doing something that's productive in their learning. And so I want to give these kids a meaningful music experience, whether I'm here at the school or not. Now let's talk about creating solutions. Now finding solutions for not having a highly qualified substitute is certainly not always possible. Here are some of the recommended things I recommend you can do ahead of time to improve the chances that your students are going to have a more meaningful experience. First, create a clearly labeled substitute binder. Very simple, very easy. I want you to make sure that the members of your department and at least one of your administrators know where this binder is going to be held in your office or your desk. Okay, and what you need to include in this are the following. Emergency drills, so the maps and procedures that are school-based, a list of your classroom procedures, your personal daily schedule, a reporting summary and grade for how each class did, so I'd recommend making a template in which the substitute can give each class a grade or student, a list of materials students may use and their location within the classroom, a seating chart, a list of student leaders that can take care of certain special tasks, a student roster for each class. Now, if your school is one-to-one with computers, you can do online theory, history, or maybe some kind of game that has some kind of assessment associated with it. Also include schedule for activities, if there's anything that's going on that is school-based, and student-led music games. Now, the one thing you want to make sure you do is ahead of time is make sure you personally have practiced whatever these games are with your students so there's not a lot of confusion and the students can kind of take over. Subs with a music background. Now, in some situations, you may have a sub that doesn't have any rehearsal skill and maybe it could be a little socially awkward. However, they have experience as a musician. Well, in these situations, you may be able to arrange certain instructional musical activities, again, with some of the leaders in your class. For quick resources, if you want to check out Teachers Pay Teachers, or you can even do a little research in Pinterest. Now, regardless, if you have 3 months or an afternoon, it'd be wise to have a sub-tub. The tub would be where you would have any sub-oriented pieces of equipment, such as a boombox, and this would be really helpful for your elementary music teachers. And I would also recommend preparing 3 sets of strict emergency subplans. And these plans are going to be designed specifically for substitutes with no musical experience, which, again, often happens. Final thoughts. Now, is there a way to be anxious-free, knowing that your students will be the best, well-behaved angels out there? Well, the jury's still out on that. However, at least you know that with some preparation, you have a set measurable standard for what your students are capable of doing while you're away. Organizational skills are the key to developing a well-rounded and a professional music educator who cares about what is most important: the children. That's it for today, everybody. I hope you have a great day. See you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Music Educator podcast for the latest tips, tricks, and practical advice you can use tomorrow. You can subscribe to our podcast on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. Please visit the Music Educator blog at www.4themusiceducator.com for additional posts and music education news. As always, join in the discussion and let your voice be heard by providing feedback at www.4themusiceducator@gmail.com or leave a Google voicemail at 703-942-9883. We will see you on the next episode of the Music Educator podcast, and remember, music can change the world.